Hello, and welcome. Happy Wednesday to ya. Happy Wednesday to ya. Happy Wednesday. Hello. How is everybody doing? So let's say hello to the chat. We have Mail to the B. She says, Happy Wednesday, Dee Dee. Welcome, Charles. And hello, divas and dudes. Yes. We have Simply Taisha. She says, Happy Wednesday, Dee Dee and Divalicious fam. Mel says, please hit that like button on the way into the live stream. Everyone, please share and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Love it. Thank you, Mel. We have, this is me saying, we have Downsides and Diva. Saying hello to everyone. Happy Wednesday. J to the C. I love that. Calamity Jane. How are you? Oh my gosh. I feel like we need to be going on an adventure together. A live stream that proves the only thing we're losing is pounds. Good evening, divas and divos. Hey, Grace. How are you? Oh my goodness. Okay, people are saying hello. Cookie, how are you? Hello. Polly Paul, how are you? Paul, are you riding solo tonight? I love that. Pamela, perfectly Pamela, how are you? She says, hey, DD, and all the D-vets. I love that. It sounds like we should sing a song, Pamela. Okay, who else do we have in here? Let's see. People are saying hello. I love it. Now I don't know what this means. I don't really see emojis as well as you guys do. Okay, she says she has a face, and it reads the emoji. Isn't that some kind of little different? All right, Mail to the B. Thank you for the super sticker. Let's give Mail a thank you. Love it. Even though I don't see a sticker, I don't see the sticker. But thank you, Mail to the B. I love that. All right, so I think we have somebody else in here. Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. We got my girl, Jen F. How are you, Jen? Jen, you are so funny to me. Joe Sleep and Slim Down Journey. She says, hi, Dee Dee. Hi, Charles. Hi, Divalicious fam. We love it. Who else do we have here? Brenda coming in with the updo. How are you? That rhyme. Coming in with the updo. How are you? I love that pic. Jennifer, how are you? She says, happy Wednesday, Dee Dee and fam. Sin, I am so glad you're in here because I was, your surgery, and I think you left the chat that day because I started, and so I can remember to go back to it, but you had already left. So anything you want to tell us about that today, again, feel free. I hope you caught the replay though, because we were showing you some love. All right, so people are saying hello. DJ Meyer, how are you? She says hello. I'm here from sunny Idaho. Happy shot day. It is my shot day. How'd you know that? Well, you've been listening. I love it. Thank you. Yes, after this live, I am going to be taking my meds. How about that? Oh, goodness gracious. Jamie, how are you? She says, hey, Jamie. All right, good evening. Do we have anybody else? Kate, how are you? Kate from Seattle. Yes. I love that. Let's see. Sandra, how are you? She says, hey, I don't catch you live very often. Yes, one of my other weight loss twins. How are you? Geez, one of one. How are you? Well, thank you and welcome to the chat, everybody. We have the Round Mound of Zepbound. He'll be coming in soon. He's coming in hot. Empower Wellness by Teddy D. How are you? It's good to see you guys. Okay, all right. So before we get into what we're here for tonight, which is the Round Mound of Zepbound, like I'm so excited he's coming on. He's such a wealth of knowledge. So I can't wait to chat it up with him. And you were just going to talk about a little bit about his interview, some of the highlights of it, and then we're going to talk some hot topics. So hopefully you guys can chime in. And what else are we going to be talking about? we're gonna, and then we're gonna kind of, get your questions in there. He's on a different schedule, so when he gets in here, he's coming. When he gets in here, we're gonna get started with him. But before that, because we have a couple men in here, this was a good time. I thought this was a great time to talk about this topic that we're going to be talking about on Friday. Reset with Anissa. How are you? She says, hi, Dee and everyone. And you know what? You just hit 300 subscribers. I thought that was so cool. I saw that on your community post. Congratulations to you. Let's give her some confetti. Let's give her some confetti. All right, all right, all right. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, but if you hit a milestone, put it up on there so I can shout you guys out. Davina, how are you? I missed you. I think last Friday. How are you? All right, so I want to talk about this really quick, and I'm not going to say maybe a whole lot about it, but I want to share with you a topic for Friday that if you can't come, if you think this doesn't affect you, it kind of does, especially if you're married, you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever you got going on, whatever your situation is, and it's a male involved. I think you should be coming. So you should be at this live on Friday. So on Friday, I am going to be talking about andropause. Andropause is the male menopause. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to have a special guest that's going to talk about it with me. I've, been researching it, thinking about it. And, we talk about a lot about the, women. This also was a topic that King Darium wanted us to talk about. I don't know if you've been in my chat, you've heard King Darium talk a lot about, what the men go through with menopause. So I want the men to hopefully come and share. But if not, we're still going to talk about it. We're still going to talk about it with my special guest. So it's GOP and low T. So has anybody ever heard of andropause? Let me know in the chat. Have you heard of it? Do you know what it is? And then I want you also to take a guess. Who do you think is going to be my my guest? Who do you think I'm going to have on here? Because it's somebody that you guys may know. You may know this person. So you say, if you have questions for Dee Dee or Charles, please place them. Thank you, Mel. She's like, place them in the chat. Okay. So do you guys, what do you guys think andropause is? Did you know what it is? Did you know what it was, I should say? Okay, so G's one of one is saying, yes, he's heard about it. Okay, anybody else heard about it? Yeah, Daria. Darian wanted us to talk about this. Okay, you never heard of it? Okay, all right. Kate says she has heard of it. Okay, all right, very good. We're going to see if Charles has heard of it before. We're going to be talking about that on Friday. Mel says she has heard of it. Okay, all right, very good. All right, so on Friday, be there or be square, but that's okay. If you can't be there, catch the replay. We're going to be talking about it. So I'm about to ask Charles, has he heard of this before? And we'll see. Maybe he has. So he seems like he's up on a lot of the happenings. All right, so without further ado, we have the Round Mound of Zepbound. Everybody calls him the GOAT. I wonder, does he know that we call him the GOAT? Of the GLP-1 weight loss journey. So let's ask him. Here we go. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I am good. Now, let me ask you, did you know that people consider you the GOAT in these GLP-1 streets?
I think I've seen one comment to that regard, and that was probably from Twan, I think it was.
Okay. So calling you the GOAT. A lot of us say that. We think you are the GOAT of the GLP-1 weight loss journey. And, everyone has their own journey. But I think what makes yours so special is I feel like you're like the Rocky Balboa to get to where you are right now. You've been through so much to get to where you are. So your body has been through a lot. And I think that's what we all appreciate. And the fact that you didn't give up is just, it's inspiring, because somebody else may have said, I've had surgery, I've done this, I've had so many, operations. Just, it is what it is. But you did not do that, which, is a testament to who you are. So we just love that. So before we get into things, I want to know, have you ever heard of andropause? It's a male menopause. Have you ever heard of that?
No. Never.
No, he has not. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about that on Friday. That is a thing, believe it or not, and it's
Is that like menopause, like menopause?
yes,
I've heard of
yes.
that. I haven't heard of andropause.
Yes. Well, that's like the technical name. There's another medical name for it too. But yes, that is a thing. So we're going to be talking about it on Friday. Friday. So if you're free Friday, check it out. Watch the replay if you can't come in here and check it out and listen to it. But we're going to be talking all about it. It was actually a request from it's Darium. I know you know Darium, who Darium is.
Dude, Darian's my
Yeah.
guy. He's been rocking me
Yeah.
from rocking with me from the beginning.
Yes, King
My God.
Darium is awesome. He's awesome. So before we get started, so if you have questions for Darium is up in here, you say his name and he pops out of those bushes every time. So before we get into the questions, if you have questions for Charles, put it in the chat. So I wanted to talk about our interview because people just love that interview. And one of the things that stood out to me in the interview was the fact that you were an advocate for, advocating for yourself with your doctor and how you actually were able to catch, your prostate cancer,
Yeah.
early because you had a doctor that was on top of it. So can you kind of explain that a little bit more for us, or just kind of maybe recap some of the things you shared about that in our interview?
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned, I had moved to I had been living up in Portland, Oregon for about 22 years, originally from California. And I transferred my job to a company out here in Las Vegas. And the medical system out here is really, really different than what I had been used to growing up in California and then living in Portland for so long. And so I bounced around to different providers trying to find a right fit because um, it none of it was working for me. That I'm used to going to seeing my doctor at the hospital. The doctors put in orders. You go down to the second floor to get your blood work. You go to the fifth floor to get your imaging, and all that is in one system, and everyone talks to each other. And here you go to a strip mall to see a private doctor who has admitting purposes at the hospital, but doesn't work at the hospital. And if you need imaging, you got to go to um, Desert Radiology or Steinberg, or you got to go to, if you need labs, you need to go to Quest or LabCorp. Nothing, none of the medical providers talk to each other. There's no system for them to talk to each other. So I was looking for a doctor. The ones that I had, I really didn't like. So had set out for the intent to find I wanted to find a woman doctor because the man that I had been dealing with, I grew up in a sports culture where you rub dirt on it and keep it pushing. And I was tired of that mentality because my body had just been breaking down over and over again. So I wanted somebody that's going to be more empathetic to what I was dealing with, for one. And I wanted a woman of color because they would be more in tune to the needs of the Black community, with me being a Black man and the health challenges that I face uniquely as a Black man. Um, and someone that was young, because they wouldn't be so ingrained into the old way of thinking. Um, so I found that doctor, and she's actually not even a doctor. She's a uh, physician's assistant.
Mm,
And but she was great. Um, she was the first doctor that had ever talked to me about prostate cancer. And I've known about prostate cancer, but in my mind, it was something that you get when you're old.
mm,
And there wasn't a whole lot of discussion within my friends group or within my family about prostate cancer at all. So it wasn't something I was really concerned with at the time. So when she told me, she started talking to me about it and put in the blood work order, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just going to come back clean, and then it came back extremely high. And so that started me on a journey to getting diagnosed. It took about um, to put the blood work in May, and I didn't get the official diagnosis until, I want to say, September. So it took a while for the actual diagnosis to come through. But that taught me that I needed to advocate for myself, because me as a Black man, I should have started getting tested at 45, because, like I mentioned, Black men are 80% more likely to get prostate cancer. They don't know why. It could be an environmental thing, but we're also twice as likely to die from it. And that could be partially because we don't go see the doctor and we don't have these discussions with our doctor. So that set me on a road to starting to advocate for myself. And then after I found out after I got diagnosed, I found out that, I had 2 or 3 uncles on my dad's side that had it. And both my uncles on my mom's side had it. And I hadn't known anything about it until after I got diagnosed. So knowing that would have put me in a higher risk category to make sure that I had started getting tested at 45.
Wow. Yeah. So talking to your family too about the background, not just your immediate family, then, other people, in your bloodline. I think that's a great tip. One of the things I thought about, because you talked about grilling a lot, do you know who Charlie Wilson is, the singer?
Oh, that's my
Um,
guy. Gap
yeah,
band. Yes. Uncle
yeah, from the
Charlie.
Gap Band. He talked about, has he had a great career though since the
Yeah.
Gap Band? He kind of reinvented himself, which is excellent, at an older age, and I love that for him. But one of the things he talked about, he had prostate cancer. Do you remember that? I think he had
I
he
hadn't
had
I
it.
hadn't heard
He had
anything
it.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things he talked about was African American men in the grilling, and that char that the barbecue puts on the meat and stuff.
Mhm.
They say that could be a possible contributor to prostate cancer. So I
Yeah.
remember him talking about that, and I thought, wow, that's something that needs to be out there, like out there, because I know all the men in my family love to grill.
Yeah, I
So
do
that's like
too.
the thing. It's kind of like a rite of passage in the Black community, and you're
Yeah.
known to be a griller. So if that is something that is a potentially that something that contributes to that, I think that we have to, get that word out there. I'm gonna fact check myself, but I remember thinking that, wow, because I remember telling my dad about that and like, watch out, because he was grilling all the time. So he's kind of scaled it back. But I just think when you have a love and passion for it, you just kind of do it. So, I'm not saying you grill, you're going to get prostate cancer, but I'm just saying it's been said that could be a correlation. So, wait a minute. Hold up, Charles. Wait a minute. We have a super chat. Simply Taisha. Thank you. She says, I've never heard of it. Talking about the andropause, the male menopause, but I'm looking forward to learning about it. Maybe I could talk TJ into watching it with me. That would be awesome. 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 Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I think if you have, even if you, I gave her the, thank you, Taisha. I think even if you don't have because I know a lot of times men aren't, necessarily participating in these chats. They're not always out and about. But I think it's an important topic because, men have emotions too, and men go through things. And a lot of times we just assume that, it's attributed to a bad day at work or somebody, got on your nerves or you worked yourself too hard. But they also have hormones and things going on
Yeah.
as well. And so I think the more we understand our bodies, then we can work to improve ourselves and do the preventative health care. Remember, we talked a lot
Right.
about that, Charles,
Yeah.
doing things to prevent things before they happen. Wait a minute. We have another super chat. Let's see. Let's see. Dee Dee and Charles, thanks for blessing us with your insight. Charles, my favorite part of your message is advocating for oneself. What a great example, especially for Black men. Everyone, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. And also
Will
subscribe to
do.
Round Mound of Zepbound as well. Let's give her a thank you. Thank you, Mel to the B. Here we go. All right, very good. Okay, so before I ask my next question, we do have a question in the chat. Let's see. I want to say I saw JC. I got to scroll up to get to it. Let's see. Did I pass it by? She had the big QQ in front of it too. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm coming. Okay, here we go. Question: did anyone titrate down? I'm on week 3 of 5.0 milligrams, and before I eat, I'm already feeling full. Didn't get my calories in this past week. I'm going to reach out to my doctor since I need a refill. So when you reach out to your doctor, are you gonna suggest titrating down to your doctor, or are you just gonna ask your doctor's input? And Charles, have you ever titrated down, and how did that work out?
I only titrated down when I went to maintenance.
Okay. So can you remind people of like your dose schedule? Like, so did you start off on 2.5, and then how long did you stay on that and up until you got to your goal?
Yeah, I did 1 month on 2.5, 1 month on 5, 3 months on 7.5. That was at the point that I learned that I can get the 3-month supply at the same price as my single month supply, and learned that it wasn't too smart to titrate up too fast, because once you get it to once you get to 15, there's nowhere else to go. So I did 3 months of 7.5, went up to 10, and I think I did a box and a half on 10 before I titrated down. I immediately jumped down to 5 after I hit my goal, my initial goal at the time, 220, 225. I got below that and then dropped down to 5 for a month. But then the food noise came back, so I had to go right back up.
So you went right back up.
Yeah.
That food noise is what gets us moving up on those doses, even when we're losing weight, right? Because, even though you still can lose, you just don't want to have that constant. That's one of the things that we get freed up from, is that constant thinking about food, and, that whole roller coaster ride you could be on when you get that food noise back.
Seeing some
Are you
familiar
seeing the
names in the
comment?
chat. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I want to tell you really quick. He was looking in the chat. I want to tell you. So Charlie Wilson was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2008. So it's been a while. He was successfully treated with radiation therapy, and he's now a cancer-free survivor. So he's been cancer-free for a while now. And because I remember that, I remember thinking about. I was glad that he was speaking out. He's kind of like an advocate for it. I don't know if he talks about it at all in his concerts, but I remember him talking about it. He said he is now an advocate. He uses his platform to encourage men to prioritize early detection and screenings, which we talked about. He said that men often have like a shame behind getting those prostate exams. And I don't know, what is that about? Did you ever have that? Had you not heard of it, of the screenings before? Did you have that shame of like, because you said you didn't think about it, and you thought that's something a man would get when he was older.
Yeah.
So did you have shame behind getting that, or it was just the thought of, I'm too young to get it?
No, I just didn't think anything of it, because I didn't think I was old enough to get it, because everyone that I had knew that had gotten it was old, like my grandfather or something of that nature. But it's the digital rectal exam. That is what turns a lot of men off of having to get a digital rectal exam. However, that is not necessary any longer. You can do it with blood tests.
Really?
That's how mine was discovered.
You're kidding. Now that's news to me. Geez, Louise. So I wish they could do a pap smear with a blood test.
Yeah.
Right, ladies out there? Oh my goodness gracious, that would change the game, because I'm sure it can be painful to get a pap smear, and it looks so like it reminds you of like what they do in the like 1800s, right? It looks like a torture situation. And so it would be nice if we could just get a blood test and take care of all that, instead of, getting in those stirrups.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That's good information. If you see something in the chat, feel free to let me know. Like if you just tell me what time you see it, I can
The
when
last one
people
I
are saying,
see is from Mel B. Might be some before that, but Mel B asked a question. The top 2
okay.
pieces of advice for someone starting new on a GLP-1.
Okay, so real quick, so we have Round Mound of Zepbound is the GOAT in these GLP-1 streets. That man has been through it and still wants everyone to win. Yes, yes, yes. We love that. And that's from King Darren. We call him King Darren. He's in these YouTube streets deep. Hit the like button. Yes, please. Okay, very good. So let's see. Okay. Darium says andropause, menopause, male menopause, and even hydrogonadism,
Gonadism, yeah.
gonadism. It's gradual decline in testosterone. Yes, and that's why I had on that thumbnail, low T. So it is testosterone. Very good. So you have to come and shed some light. Let's see. G says, as well as in his own way. Okay, very good. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to see where Mill's comment at.
It was at the bottom.
Let's see. Okay, let me scroll down. Okay, here you go. Dee Dee and Charles. Did I read this already? I
Yeah.
think I read this one already. Did she have another one?
Yeah.
Uh, Hi Real Talk with Journal. Oh, How Real Journal Talk with V. Let's see. So Pamela said she had to titrate down after 1 week on 5 milligrams. It was too strong and I couldn't eat. Thankfully, I'm on a compound, so I was able to do a mid dose. Okay, very good. So what do you think about people that do that compound where they can, they can manage it better than, we can because we just have that pen. Unless you do the quick pen, I think you can kind of maneuver. What do you think about that? Would you be open to compound if for some reason you couldn't get the branded?
Fun fact: I did compound for 6 months on my journey.
Ooh,
When
yeah,
I
and you
started,
is that company IV that you
I
talk
mean, yep,
about?
yep.
Okay, okay. And so were you doing things like Pamela was doing, like so a 5, so because with the way you either go 5, well I take Mounjaro, so it's either 2.55. There is no in between where I guess people figure out how to manipulate that pen. I just would not do that and I don't know how. But I think it's easier. Did you find yourself doing that? To
No, I stuck with the dosing, and I only did it because I was advocating for IV, and I didn't want to push it without using the medication and knowing that it worked and whatnot. So I did it for 6 months, and IV at the time was not doing customized dosing, so I stuck with the regular dosing schedule. Now they're doing customized dosing. Like I think I told you last week, if I think my ideal dose right now would probably be 8 milligrams, because I think
oh,
that will be enough to take the edge off of the food noise and not prevent me from losing weight. And I could do that once a week injection instead of trying to spread my dose out to 10 to 14 days. With the branded medication, you're only going to get that one dose unless you do some, which I wouldn't recommend, splitting. Some people do on YouTube, splitting the dose into another vial or something. But
no, you wouldn't do that.
no,
Okay, all
I would
right.
not recommend that. That's not sterile.
So would you go back to the compounds if that's the only way you could control the dose, the way you think you need it
If I had no other choice, yes. Right now, I think my mechanism right now is just going to be to spread my dose out.
to spread it out? And what's the spread going to be? Do you have that figured out?
I'm at 10 days right now.
10 days.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 days. Okay, very good. I noticed a lot of people do that, or they go every other week, or some do it every 14 days, something like that. So then it's end up, being like twice a month. So those are all good strategies. Now, did your doctor suggest that, or you just figure that out based on your body and your needs?
I talked to my doctor about it. She actually suggested that I go down, and I told her, my concern about the food noise, and she agreed to spread it. Now she says she has some patients now that do it once a month, so she was fine
Okay.
with it.
Okay. Haven't we come so far from when you just went up every 4 weeks? And
I
remember
know.
that was
Yeah,
like the schedule.
yeah,
And so we've learned so much. So I can't wait till they have some new studies coming out. So hopefully they've studied, and I hear one's in the works now, but I want to hear the people they've studied over time that have been on this medications over a longer period of time. Because we always hear a lot about that initial study, but I think so much has changed and so much has happened since then. So I'm excited to see what has happened. And I also want them to do a study on women in menopause and how the hormones of it all affects
yes,
this
yeah. That'd be great.
GLP-1. Yeah,
That'd be
because I
great.
think that's so important for us to understand. Because right now we're just I feel like we're kind of guessing. Like, is it the GLP-1? Is it? And there are clues to help you figure it out, but nothing like some raw data and studying. How people actually go about their lives. Because everything looks. It's so funny because when you're, talking about things and you see different people, we're all so different. It would be nice to have like a study to see like exactly how that looks when you actually put some numbers to it. So I did find Mel B's comment. Mel says, and you read it, what are your top 2 pieces of advice for GLP-1 users? So your top 2.
My top 2, if she's going to limit me to 2, I would say take lots of pictures along your journey and start off with a DEXA scan if you can.
The DEXA scan. The DEXA scan. Okay, so why do you say that? Because people are torn with this DEXA scan, and I was one of those people at the beginning of my journey. I did not take one at the very beginning, but I did. I kept hearing about it, that people were taking it, and I thought that's cool information to have, and I thought I'm just going to do it because the more I researched, different things, I thought I want to know like how my bone density is. My doctor, of course, was like, your bones are fine, you don't need a bone density test. But I think she wasn't thinking body composition. She was just thinking DEXA scan, bone density test. She wasn't thinking body composition. And so but when I took the results back to her, she was not even impressed with seeing that. She's only worried about my A1C, and that's kind of it. And she's kind of said, oh, I knew it was going to be like that. I knew everything was fine. So it's kind of funny. She wasn't a big advocate of getting that, but there I go. We got to advocate for ourselves. So I'm glad I really did that. But I didn't believe in it at first. I was just like, oh, whatever, you're getting this cool data. And the more you learn about it, the more you realize how important it is. So why do you think it's so important to start your journey out with that?
So you can get a better picture of how your body is transforming over time. You get to see where your bone density is, where your fat distribution is, where your muscle is, and it can also tell you what particular parts of your body you need to focus in on if you want to burn a certain amount of fat off of like my belly was a big one. So for me, burning that fat off my belly was big for me. Knowing how much muscle I'm maintaining on my journey, because that's a big concern that has been scaring a lot of people off, with people like Jillian Michaels scaring people about people losing muscle on this journey because of the medication. And it's not because of the medication, it's because you're losing weight, and that's going to happen if you enter a strict calorie deficit, or you have some medical condition that causes a lot of weight loss, or if you have bariatric surgery. The key there is that you would just want to make sure that you're getting enough protein in and lifting weights to minimize any muscle loss. And you're going to have muscle loss regardless when you're in a caloric deficit. The key is to minimize that loss.
Okay. All right, very good. So I was gonna ask you. So that when I got my DEXA scan, that's but I knew that before I went, right? Because I had seen myself. I knew that visceral fat was all up in my belly, hanging out big time. And so to burn that, like, so the DEXA scan guy, I call him the DEXA scan guy. He's such a nice guy. He said, up your calories, because I'm also trying to bring up my RMR, which is your resting metabolic rate. So I'm trying to bring that up as well. Mine was like at 14 something. And he said they predicted it would be at 1700, and it was at 14, which is kind of low. So he said, you got to eat more calories, eat up your protein. And he said, he wanted me to eat 2,400. I said, geez, oh man, that takes me back to the McDonald's my eating out days. But he said, no, you eat, and then he said you'll burn it off because you'll be exercising. He said, but if you want to eat even more, exercise even more. I said, I'm struggling to get in this exercise I'm getting in. So I just thought that was a big thing, but it gave me a goal and it gave me something to work on. But I don't think my fat in my belly has gone down since I had my last DEXA scan. And so then here recently I was reading, to burn belly fat, we know it's what you eat, but they say to burn fat, visceral fat, not necessarily belly fat, which I guess that's the fat in there. But they said to burn that visceral fat, I need to be walking. Like, walking is the best way to target that. And besides eating the protein too. And I'm that's what I haven't been doing. I've been doing Pilates. I walk every now and then, but I don't make it a regular. And I said I was going to do that and just haven't done it. And then I also do the strength training, like in my 2 days of Pilates, and then my 2 days of trying to do the strength training. And I say trying to do it because I feel like I'm doing it at home, and I'm just trying my best. But so is that true? Do you know that being an athlete and a trainer, how am I going to target in addition to the food? Is walking going to help target this belly fat?
Yes, that's what I had learned as well. But it was just any cardiovascular exercise should help burn that belly fat out.
So we should be doing, so I know we should be doing cardio, their best. But
Yeah.
the doctors tell you if you have to choose one, their workout of choice is strength training. Why is that?
That's because there's a lot of your metabolism is tied up into your muscle. I think it's you burn. I want to say you burn 6 calories for every pound of muscle versus one pound of fat, or 1 calorie for 1 pound of fat. So the more muscle you have, the more your metabolism can kick in to burn those additional calories off, even at in a resting position. And the more and when you're lifting weights, your body has to repair itself. So it needs that protein, and that your metabolism kicks in to repair those muscle fibers.
Okay, okay. So, geez, oh man, that's one of the things I do not, for some reason. Now I've been back at school and we have lots of steps. So I've been active at school, walking around that big, it's a huge building. But that's one of the goals. So, I think if you go get a DEXA scan, you got to do something with the information. So my goal when I left there, really, I should have set a goal, and that's what I didn't do. And I should have set a goal and said, my visceral fat was here. I'm gonna, my goal is when I come back to get it here. Really, only thing I had the bar set kind of low, Charles. I said
Yeah.
to myself, I said my bone density was excellent and my lean muscle mass was excellent. So my goal was just to keep it that way. And I said, if I shave something off of my visceral fat, that's fine. But to me, my belly has not moved. Now it'll be interesting to see when I go back. I go on Saturday to get this DEXA scan. If I shaved anything off of that visceral fat, I'm going to be proud of myself. And if I raise that RMR up a little bit, I'm going to be proud of myself. As long as it's not at I want to say it was at 1472. So as
Yeah.
long as it's not there, then if it is, I'm just going to have to have like a Oprah intervention with my own self.
Yeah, I'm
Because I
long
gotta,
overdue for a scan myself. I got one last July 2024. So I'm well overdue for a new
oh,
one.
yeah.
So I plan to get one. I hope to get one in the next month or two, because I'm well overdue. Because when I started my journey, I was using a body composition scale, and if you get a good one, it's great. But mine was way off. It was telling me that my body fat percentage was like 8%, and I'm like, that's no way that's true. So I don't know exactly what my body composition was when I started off, and I started in January, had my DEXA scan in July, and I think my scale at the time was saying that I was like 6 or 7% body fat, and the DEXA scan said I was 24%. So it was
Ooh.
way off. I had just bought a new scale, and that new scale was right in line with the composition that the DEXA scan gave me. So that's probably one reason why I have delayed getting a new DEXA scan, because I'm confident that my current scale is doing a job. But I want to go back to compare to see where it is now compared to the scale, and where I am now compared to when I had that DEXA scan in July.
Oh, okay. All right. So your advice was what was your first piece of advice? Was it pictures,
Yeah,
taking lots of
yeah,
pictures and getting the DEXA scan?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the thing about the pictures is, you're going along the journey. You're going to have people tell you that you're losing weight, you look good, and you don't see it. You do not see it. You look in the mirror and you still see the big you. You move
Yeah.
around, you think it's still the big you. And the thing that kicks in your mind is looking at a picture. When you can do a side by side, and then your mind starts to catch up with where your body is, because it takes a while for that to happen. And that's the thing that, for months, people were telling me that I look good, my face was slimming down, and I didn't see it until I started looking at pictures. I don't take a lot of pictures, but there's also a picture that actually started me on my journey to begin with. Those pictures are powerful to let you know where you stand.
Yes, they are. And you're so funny. You're on Instagram and you do that. You got that Charles pose. You're like, You were trying on your little clothes. You're solid. I was like, look at Charles styling and profiling. It's a good feeling now that you can look, fit in clothes that you wanted to fit into and couldn't fit into. And I always used to wear the color black. And so my goal has been, since I've been on live, is that I try to avoid it. Now today I have on this because what does this remind you guys of? Does it remind you of anything? This it's just the colors of my shirt. It's just a plain shirt. It's but what does it remind you of? This was like I wore this because you were coming on here today.
Reminds me of
Does
referee
anybody
shirt.
know?
It's football season.
Yes, touchdown. I said, well, I was looking through my closet. I said, this reminds me. I said, why did I buy this referee shirt? And then I thought, okay, Round Mound of Zepbound is coming on. He was an athlete. So I was like, okay, I'm about to wear my my referee shirt. But I would never wear this. And when you're bigger, did you avoid patterns and stuff? Because they would tell you, like, I felt like something stripes going, these are horizontal, but I felt like the vertical stripes, or are these vertical? But I felt like the stripes go, would make me look bigger.
Yeah.
And so I was like, certain things I wouldn't wear. And now I feel like I could just wear whatever and it's okay. So
Yeah,
that's a good
I
feeling.
didn't necessarily purposely do it. I guess there's not at least for men's fashion, there wasn't really a whole lot of fashionable clothes for the big fellas at the time. So you just bought what you bought. And usually that was something that you bought offline because it wasn't in the store. You couldn't go into the store and get it off the rack unless you went to Big and Tall or DXL or something like that.
Now, what's one piece of clothing or an accessory that you could sport now that you couldn't sport before?
I would just say my in terms of size is a large shirt. I went from
A
a
large
4X.
shirt.
Yeah, I went from a 4X to a large. So that's
Oh,
great.
that is excellent. For me and I saw, I've always had some big calves, like some, how the girls wear those riding boots that can any of the ladies relate to me on this? You know how they have those riding boots that always come up, and over the years they started making them for women, not just over, plus size women, but with some women, especially ones that are athletes, have bigger calves, right?
Mhm.
And then they started making them bigger, but I still could never really fit those and fit my jeans in there comfortably. So that's my goal, is to slim the. How do I target my calves? Is there a way to do that?
Do some calf raises.
Just calf raises?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. If I fit into some riding boots and put my pants in it and feel comfortable, I'm gonna be posting that all over Instagram. I'll be like you. I'll be
Yeah,
like
they're
you.
flexing that leg, huh?
I'm gonna be styling and profiling on Instagram. They call me Dee Dee the referee. That is so funny. Okay, so let's pivot. I don't know if I see any more questions in here. Let's see. Well, we have some comments. Let's put some of the comments up. I'm gonna wait. I think I see a question. Ooh, okay. Joe has a question. Do you know who she is? She's from the UK. This is my girl, Joe. Joe Slim and Sleep and Slim Down Journey. She says, "What is the best medical advice you have both received from a healthcare professional?" That's a great question.
That is a great question. I have to think about that.
Let me see. Mine was a ER doctor. He wasn't my doctor, just visiting the ER. I thought I had a blood clot, and so I'm like, I want an X-ray, not an X-ray, but one of those ultrasounds where they see in there. And come to find out, I didn't. I had inflammation in my knee, and he said it was just like a little bit. But the advice he gave me was because I was 300 plus pounds. He said, and I always tell this story because it always just warms my heart. He said, I don't know why this warmed my heart, because it's not kind of nice, but he said, I never really give advice to people because they don't take it. He said, so when people come in here, I just, listen and let them go their way. He said, but about their way. But he said, I could tell, I feel like you're going to listen to me. And he said, I'm going to tell you, I was overweight. I worked to where I am now. Of course, he looked fit. He said, he focuses on strength training. He's the one who told me, don't do a lot of cardio. until you take some weight off, because it's going to make that inflammation worse. And this is before GLP-1s or anything, like really before. And he said, but he said, my advice to you is to build muscle. He said, that's what you need to do. You need to work on strength training. They'll do it 3 times a week. Focus on that protein. Everything I'm hearing now and I knew to do. But it's just that I could never really stick with it. I had a great start, but I could never stick with it. And so, but I thought that was great advice. That's kind of like the last thing I remember somebody telling me that I thought it made, not only did it make sense then, it checked out, right? You know what I mean? Like how sometimes you hear things and they could be true or not. Maybe you find out, maybe you don't. But this is something that is tried and true. So I appreciated getting that.
I can't think of anything. That was good advice though, but I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what did somebody else? Okay, we have the Turtle Diaries. She says, loving seeing Dee Dee and Round Mound of Zepbound together. Very cool. Let's see. Do you know who she is? She's also a
Yes.
content creator.
Yes.
And Simply Taisha says she is Team DexaScan. Okay, here's a question. What is the best tip you've gotten from a dietitian?
I think that for me, it goes back to my my bariatric journey, which the what they teach you in that journey is how to eat for the sleeve. So I practice drinking 30 minutes before I eat, and then focusing on the protein on my plate while I'm eating. And if I don't get to the other stuff, then I just don't get to it. And then I don't drink again for 30 minutes after I eat. So that helps me to remain fuller longer.
So wait, so you drink 30 minutes before you eat, and then after you eat. So I thought that was interesting in our interview. And you said after you eat, you don't drink for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And so explain why you do that again. That's interesting.
So it's kind of like the same mechanism that you get with a GLP-1, where you're slowing down digestion. So if you're drinking while you're eating, or drinking right after you eat, you're pushing that food down into the digestive system. Whereas where they create the sleeve for you, the gastric sleeve, they're cutting a big portion of the stomach out to create a tighter window. So that food kind of sticks there, is slower to digest. And if you put water or drink in there, you're going to flush it down into your digestive system. So the mechanism behind that is not to drink anything for 30 minutes, to let that food just slowly sit there and wait before you drink anything, to flush it down further into your digestive system.
So that should also be able to help us when we're on these GLP-1s, because the slow digestion is the same kind of concept.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I haven't done that. I heard you say that. Why haven't I done that? I'm downsizing diva. I'm gonna try that. I need to try that, especially after I go get this DEXA scan. I'm gonna email you, Charles, and let you know what happened with this DEXA scan. All right. So she says Team DEXA. And then, so Grace, I'm so glad you made this comment, because I wanted to say, losing it, Grace, she's also a content creator here. She says, I feel like it's too late for me. Week 27, still no DEXA. I didn't get my DEXA scan until I started in February of 2024. I didn't get my DEXA scan until April of 2025. So it's still not, it's not too late. You're way earlier than I would be if you got it, in the next month. So it's never too late. That's the message I want to get out. Whatever you're doing, start where you are. Start where you are.
I think I got mine. I know I got it after week 29, because I hit goal in 29. So I probably got mine week 30, week 31. So it's not too late. You can still get it to see where you're at, and then you can use it as information to make your decision on how you're going to do things going forward. Grace also made a comment earlier that I chuckled at, because she said that she can't stop crossing her legs. I can't stop crossing my legs either.
Me too. It's, I always feel like, who reminds me of the leg crossing is a lot of the presidents cross their legs. Have you
Yeah.
noticed it? I don't know if you've
Yep.
noticed it, but a lot
Yep.
of them do. And so it makes me feel like people that cross their legs are like distinguished for some
Yeah.
reason. And so I feel like
My,
when I'm
my
sitting up there,
pastor
I'm
used
gonna
to do
feel,
that all the time when I was growing
yeah,
up.
yes. So I want to be, I'm a distinguished too. I'm gonna cross my legs. Now I cross my legs just because I can. I don't even need to. I just know I can do it. So that is so funny. Oh my goodness. I didn't see that comment. Okay, let's see. Any other questions? Let me see.
Yeah, there's two more at the
Uh,
bottom here.
did you see any? I see some comments. There people are talking amongst themselves too. Journey
6:21. There's two questions.
6:21. Oh, geez, what time is it? Oh, for you, it's
Yeah.
okay, wait a second. 6:21, which would be 9:21 for me. Okay. Sorry, let me see. Okay, geez, these comments go way down. Okay, I didn't even get to them. Wait a minute, we have a oh, this is so funny. I have to put this up. Dee Dee, we are birthday twins and big cats. My nephew is jealous of my strong calves. I love that. We got to give us some confetti. She said the big.
Flex on them.
I'm only okay with that because I'm getting rid of mine. I don't want big cats. I got to fit into those riding boots. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Okay, I did see the question and then wait a minute. We have a super sticker. Thank you, Brenda. Oh, that's so sweet. Here you go. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Brenda. Okay, let me see. I was right at the question and then I had to go to the super chat. Okay, where's a bunch of questions? Okay, wait. Okay, here's one. Wait, did I skip anything else? Okay, so a question from how do you handle the negativity and shame around using GLP-1s? Do you just try to ignore it, try to educate, or take another approach? Great question.
That's a great question. Because right now I'm in education mode. And I have been for a while. When I initially started, I did do it on the low. So I knew the kind of rhetoric that was out there. I actually created a whole separate Instagram account from my personal account and blocked everybody from my personal account from seeing my Instagram account, just so I can start my journey or do my journey in peace. But now everyone knows. So um, there is a level of shame and apprehension, especially um, from a male perspective. Is you need to go to the gym and you need to lift the gym. You need to do the protein shakes and do the creatine and some of them are doing steroids and all that stuff. And they're fine with you taking steroids, but they don't want you taking the GLP-1, which is funny to me. But there is a level of shame and around that. You just have to get past that and say, my health is the most important thing. And being here for my family, I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. I just had a grandson in December, and I want to be here to see him grow up. So I could care less what someone else has to say about it.
Yeah, very good. I love that. Okay, I kind of lost my place. Geez Louise. Okay, I see people are making comments about about um the UK. They wish we had the UK's pens. I do too. Well, I don't know. I kind of am a creature of habit. I kind of like what I'm used to, but I mean, I guess I could get used to the quick pen if I had to. She says, Margie says her doctor suggested doing every 9 days if I found that 10 milligrams is too strong. I wonder why 9. Do you know why he said 9 or she said 9, Margie? That's interesting, right? An interesting number. Um, yes, Kate, I agree. We need HRT plus GLP-1 studies. I would love that. Let's see. There was another question. Let me see. Let me scroll down. We got the best tip from the dietitian one. Okay, I'm coming down. I'm coming down. Um, have you ever had an in-body scan, Charles, or only a DEXA?
Only a DEXA.
Okay. Yeah, they say that's the best one to get, which, I think any data about I saw that any data about your body, I guess it's helpful if you use it, right? If
Yeah.
you take it and use it. Okay, I saw a bunch of questions. Now I'm scrolling down and I don't see them. Am I missing some? Mel or Taisha, am I missing the questions? Bellflower. Let me see. Do you see any? I feel
I
like it was
see
a
the
bunch.
Mel had one at 619. I'm seeing now, or
Okay,
919.
okay. Okay, okay, now I'm down here. Okay, good. Okay. Sorry. Have you done any intermittent fasting purposely or just based on lifestyle? What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
I really don't know a whole lot about it. That's not something that I looked into. Um, I guess I do my fasting while I'm sleeping.
Oh,
But
yeah.
some people swear by it, though. I know G's does it, um, and whatever works for that individual, I say I'm all for it.
Yeah, I say we naturally fast. That's why we call it breakfast when you eat when you get up, so you naturally fast, but of course you can extend it out, which I think is great. And I think these GLP-1s lend naturally to that because before I couldn't last, a lot of times I couldn't last until 12. You know how sometimes you have to go get blood work? And I would be
Yeah,
like, geez, oh man, I can't eat till 12. I would want my appointment to be pushed up as
yeah,
early as I can.
early in the morning as possible.
Yes. Well, now on these GLP-1s, it's like, it could be at 3 o'clock and I'd be fine till I get to eat.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it is helpful if that's what you want to do. But a doctor told me, not my doctor, this is like a doctor, we have a call in line that on our insurance where we could call in. And that doctor told me that's what a lot of reasons why people with GLP-1s get nauseous because they're not eating and they extend that eating out. And he said, the GLP-1 is already helping to slow down your digestion, and you don't need that added bonus unless you're doing it for like spiritual or religious
mm,
reasons. And we know a lot of people are doing it for, just the health of it all. It's other health benefits. I know it when you're not constantly, having your body doing work. And so I do get that. But yeah, he was like, I wouldn't suggest that, especially if you got sick from doing it. But again, everybody is different. Everybody's
mhm.
bodies is different. And some people just they thrive off of it. They love
Yeah,
it. They love
yeah,
that feeling of not eating and then eating that one. I know Joe from the UK, she does that. She eats her one meal a day. It's 1,400 calories. Around 1,400 she
wow.
gets with that one meal. So, and it's working for her. I want to say she's lost like 70 pounds in 5 months.
Oh,
If
that's
am I
amazing.
right, Joe? Yeah, I can't remember. Am I right? Okay, here's where the bundle of questions are all at one time. All right, so wait, I hope we answered that for you, Mel. Are you a GLP-1 lifer? Will you try? That's all I was going to ask you about. Or forglipron. Are you going to try that?
I am for life, and I don't think I'm a Pine person, just because it's a daily. I rather do the once a week and live my life.
And so you don't want to have to worry about taking the pill every day.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think I would forgot because I mean I've forgotten to take my injections a couple of times. I ended up taking it the very next day. But yeah, but I do say I'm so used to this that it's just easy breezy. But if it
yeah.
ever became a challenge, I think on maintenance is something I would look into maybe if I was maintaining. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it might be a great option for people on maintenance, or those that don't want to do the injections to begin with. So it just makes it easier for them. I think the sticky point will be, from what analysts are saying, is that they're going to cost the same price as the injectables, which is crazy to me because they're supposed to be easier to produce. You don't have to worry about refrigeration or any of that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think that's a good reason to also switch, especially if you're a traveler, like if you travel a lot for work or just leisure. But
yeah,
you don't have to worry about is your medication going to get ruined? What if something happened and your refrigerator goes out? What if
yeah,
it's a lot of things that could go wrong that where your medication could get ruined and you wouldn't have that worry with the pill.
yeah,
So I think that's people are going to be looking at it for that. But I don't see how if it only has a 10 to 12% um potentially to lose your body weight. And of course, I'm sure people exceed that and people don't reach that. So that's the average.
yeah.
percentage. But if it's so far less than, it's like 10% less than what Zepbound will do. Like, why would you be? I guess you would be paying for convenience.
Yeah, because they can.
Jeez Louise, I just knew it was going to be cheaper. We shall see. Okay, all right, good question. Reset with Anissa. She says, did you go to your primary or did you go to a specialized facility?
I went to Plush Care when I started my journey. That's because I couldn't get into a primary. I had scheduled an appointment with my new primary, and I think I scheduled it in November or December, and I couldn't get in to see her until February. So I went to Plush Care because they had appointments every 15 minutes, and Plush Care was the one where I started my journey on a GLP-1. They did the prescription, did the prior authorization, and then once I got in with my primary, I transferred my care over to her.
Okay, all right. Very good. Now I saw Anissa said she went to the DEXA scan she got. Hers only told her bone mineral density for her legs and hips was, she didn't get the one, she got the one for the bone that tests your bone density. I think that's the one that insurances cover.
Yeah.
That's not the one that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about that? Do you know the difference between the two? How did you know about the DEXA scan even?
There were a few people on TikTok talking about it that
Okay.
were on GLP-1, so I decided to go check it out. There's a facility here in town called DEXA Fit. There are a few locations around the country, but theirs was a little more pricier than the other places that there was a one place that it was like I want to say it was like $30 or $40 if you
Oh,
bought a
wow.
plan. But mine was like 150 for my scan.
Mine was like I want to say it was 170. I had a coupon that they advertised on their site. So it brought it down to 170. But I bought the package and the RMR. And so the package was like a follow-up, which is what I'm doing this week, this Saturday. So
Yeah.
yeah. And it can be expensive, but you have to go and find out in your area, Anissa, where the DEXA scan is that measures your bone, composition. I mean, not your bone, your body composition. You have to find that one because that's a different test. It's the same machine, but a different test that you have to ask for. You just have to know how to ask for it. So that's what you ask for. Please hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you. Taisha says the hypocrisy. Steroids are a lot worse than the GLP-1s. I wish we could get to the point where there was no judgment. I know. And Taisha says, just curious to both of you, how do you feel about people who have less than 50 pounds to lose taking these medications?
They should have it too if they need it.
I agree.
That 50 pounds could be the difference between obesity and an extended life.
Yes, and that's what I
We don't
say.
know what their health conditions are.
Yeah, that's what I say. First of all, it's preventing obesity before it happens. So you may be in the overweight category, but why wait till you're obese? You know what I'm saying? Like, why
Yeah.
wait for that? And then I also think that it's also handling like your A1C, your inflammation, heart disease. It's so many other things that it could help with, like if you have sleep apnea. So I think all those things are helpful as well. So we focus on the weight a lot, but it does so much more. And I think when people come off the medication, they realize that and they try to get back on it
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
can. So, good question. Let's see. Okay, 921. I think I did check that. Okay, so Margie says she didn't really give me a reason. That's the one who spoke about her doctor. I asked her if she let me titrate down if 10 was too much. I see her in a month and I have my questions. I feel like she takes this medicine. Okay, so she may be more can sympathize with what you're going through and your needs being on the medication. I think that'd be cool to have a doc that's also on the medications because they would really understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So Joe, you do the IBF. She says her rheumatoid her rheumatoidology. I know what she's trying to say, or what I'm trying to say. Consultant recommended it to you. Okay. All right. Very good. So they told you to eat that 1,400 calories, one meal a day. All right. Very good. I never asked, but she had trouble losing after she had kids. Kind of like our girl, Serena. So what
Yep.
do you think about Serena? You know, Serena came out, and I'm telling you, Charles, every time I turn around, I'm seeing a row commercial. It's like row here, row there, row everywhere.
I'll just get ready to say that. The only problem I have is that every time I open my TikTok account or my TikTok app, there's a row commercial.
Isn't it?
It's either Serena, Charles Barkley, or some random people, but it's always a row commercial. And when I'm scrolling, there it goes again. There it goes again. They're pumping it out right now.
I mean, she is everywhere. And then if I don't see her, I'm hearing her voice or whoever the voiceover lady is talking about it. I'm like, geez, oh man. So
But
what do you
the fitness influencers are losing their minds right now though, because how do they attack Serena? The woman had, you can't say that she's lazy, that she's not committed, that she's not strong-willed. This woman has what, 23 Grand Slam titles, like 14 double Grand Slam titles. She's the only one to have both a doubles and single Grand Slam at the same time. Well, she was like number one for like 370 weeks. She had to
she
deal
has
with
the most
all,
Grand Slam titles at 39.
you know, she had to deal with
Hey,
all the negativity around her body, all the racism, the burden of carrying and representing an entire community. So you can't say any of those things about her. So I mean, what do you say? And they're trying to say stuff, but they're getting attacked in their comments big time, and I'm loving it.
oh, I am too. And you know, when I made my video about her, I started off talking about all her accolades. And honestly, I went to Wimbledon. I want to say it was 2016 or maybe it's 2017. I can't remember. So it might be more things now. But I had put pictures at the end of that video. And when you go there, her and her sister are all up and through there. I mean, they are a big deal, and you see why, because they won. They were dominating for so long, between her and her sister. And she is the GOAT. I mean, she is she's the greatest of all time. And I was just talking to somebody about the fact that she was the perfect person to come out because, like you said, there goes that lazy. There go, that's out the window. There goes that you just don't want to work out. There goes that you don't know how to eat right. She just, dispels all that because we know she was doing all that. And she was still, even though she was carrying weight, she was making it happen.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
was still winning those titles. In tennis, you got to be quick. You got to be able to, you go back and forth. So she had that stamina. And then just like a lot of women, you have the kids and then your body changes. Your body
yeah,
doesn't change and it just doesn't function the same way. And she ran into that. And so I think she still was in that gym. She still was working out. She still was eating and doing all the things. And she just could not lose the weight. So
yeah,
I can't think of anybody else, because I was just having this conversation with someone earlier. And I said, for years, Oprah was the one who people would say like, oh, well, she has access to everything. It must be hard because she can't do it. But Oprah wasn't an athlete. And remember when she lost that weight, she had a trainer named
yeah,
his name was Bob. They made a video. I have the DVD. And she just had turned her life around. She was into working out and all of that. And she made that video. She got down a healthy way. This wasn't the liquid diet way she did it before. And then she put back on the weight and she talked about the shame that came with that every time
yeah,
she would put back on that weight and how she would do all the things and she just still wanted to eat the bread and she still had her cravings and she had all the things. And so she was a great person for me because I thought if Oprah can't do it, and she can
yeah.
do everything else, I could so relate to her because that's how, in my life, I could do everything I put my mind to. And that weight was always a struggle. And now I understand why. So I just
And there
love that
was
Serena came out. I love it.
there's a football player who's been in the news recently, and I was thinking, man, if they give that guy a GLP-1, his name is Desmond Watkins, and He was drafted. I can't remember if he was drafted or signed as an undrafted free agent, but he was out of the University of Florida. He signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he was 464 pounds when he had his pro day. So that, to put that in perspective for his position, it's the heaviest NFL player ever. He's like 150 pounds heavier than what you would want for someone to play that plays this position. So they signed him. He went through the entire training camp this summer, and they did not let him practice once because they wanted him to lose weight for health reasons.
Oh,
And
wow.
he lost 30 pounds, but he didn't get down low enough, so they ended up cutting him, I think, yesterday.
Oh,
And I was thinking, man, if they would have gave that man some GLP-1 to help him out, because you saw these videos of him just out there running around the practice field while everyone else is practicing, trying to knock that weight off. And we're talking about possibly generational wealth for him and his family. And they cut him before he can get to the goal that they set for him.
now this just reminds me. I was talking with Mel earlier, and she was telling me that Shaquille O'Neal. She said, "Have you seen Shaquille O'Neal?" I said, "No." Have you seen him? Now I just opened my phone up and Googled him, and I'm about to show you this picture. I don't know if you can see it. Now look at this dude. Wait, can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what is Shaquille O'Neal doing? They say he lost 55 pounds.
He's been
Um,
like that for a few years now, though.
has he?
Yeah. They were commenting on him. If he would have worked out like that when he was with the Lakers towards the end of
He
his
would
Laker
be.
days, he would have been he wouldn't have got traded.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if he is taking a GLP-1 and has not said anything. Now, if it's been a couple years, maybe he wasn't. But some of these newer ones, I on Instagram follow Angela Simmons, and what
Uh-huh.
I respect about her, she came out, she always had a nice kind of shape, but she always showed herself working out and she was doing all the things. And I remember she was on this runway and she had a lot of cellulite for
Mhm.
her, like in her legs, and
Yeah.
she still came out. Nothing was touched up, which, she was always proud. And then one day I saw her and I'm like, this girl must be taking a GLP-1 because she was already doing all the things, but she was slim. Well, now she promotes a GLP-1 um, pill. Now that's what she calls it. I think it's a pill. I'm gonna look it up real quick, but she promotes something GLP-1, admitted to taking a GLP-1. So I love that she admitted to doing that, because I think she's somebody who talked about diet and exercise so much that I think that people would tend to follow her and just think this is the way you have to do it,
Yeah.
right? So the fact
Yeah.
that she came out, I think is great. Serena is all we just know she's been an athlete and she's been doing that because she's been a premier athlete. So my expectation of her wasn't she needed to reveal that she was taking a GLP-1 for weight loss because she never promoted weight loss or her body. She just promoted sports and training
Yeah.
hard and being a great tennis player. So if she was one of those people who had promoted like weight loss and dieting, and then here we find out she was taking a GLP-1, I
Yeah.
think it would be different. So I love that for, that, like I said, I just think she's the perfect person. So I wanted to ask you though, to kind of change into what do you think about the next generation of these GLP-1? So we know we got that the pill from Eli Lilly coming out. What about Carasima? Is it
Charisma.
Carisima?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. What do you think about that? It's showing a 20% weight loss in the trials.
Yeah. These next generation ones are going to be very interesting to watch. They're doing so many different things, touching so many different hormones now. They're doing stuff to mitigate weight loss, and to mitigate muscle loss, I should say, and increase muscle mass by triggering certain hormones. Also doing stuff to mitigate the side effects, the GI side effects, by touching certain hormones. So it's going to be interesting to see where these medications go in the future. And I'm also interested with the current generation going into higher doses, particularly for people that are having trouble losing on the current generation, especially the type 2 diabetics. There are some people that just need more of the medication in their system in order for it to work right. So they may not see weight loss until they get to 15 milligrams, and that's not high enough for them. They need to go up a little higher. I think Eli Lilly is in trials for a 20 milligram and a 25 milligram tirzepatide dose right now, and Novo is doing I can't remember, 7.8 or 8 point something milligram
It's
dose
up there.
of semaglutide. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with those medications as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at that retatrutide. I hope it comes out March of 2026. So that might be where I end up on the retatrutide. I want to try. I would do it. I would definitely take it and just, see what happens. All right. So Mel says she's a natural faster, meaning I don't really start eating until 12 or 1, but I do get in my calories and protein. Okay, very good. So you're still making sure you get your calories in. And I want to ask you about that in a second. G said he's also a proud faster here. I eat twice a day, no nausea ever. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. But I always see you're eating those big old steaks. He's eating a lot of that protein. He is filling up on the protein. And so is Joe. Joe's the other faster. She eats, like I said, 1,400 calories, but she's, stressing that protein and veggies. So I wanted to ask you, Charles, so did you ever have a time where you weren't getting your calories in? Has your appetite ever been so suppressed that you couldn't eat? And if so, how do you get past that?
Yes, when I first went up to 10 milligrams, the first 2 or 3 weeks of 10 milligrams, it like I was saying when I was discussing I called it Mac 10, the gangster rapper, because it it was kicking my butt. It was like the first 3 or 4 days after the injection was really hard. I just wanted to lay on the couch and not do anything, and I didn't want to drink water. I had to force myself to drink to at least make sure I was getting some water in. But other than that, I haven't really had anything. It was just once I got used to the dose, it became easier for me. It was just the first 2 or 3 weeks of that dose on 10, and it was only 10 that did it to me. It's the first few weeks that just knocked me on my butt for the first 2 or 3 days after the injection.
Okay, all right. I'm laughing because Mel said she pronounced it. Some of these words, I'm like, what's up with these words? How do you know how to pronounce these words? Have you heard them being said, or you just pick up on the medical terminology?
I just hear them being said because some of these words are crazy. It's like, how did they even come up with that?
And I get on here and I don't hear them before, and I try to pronounce them, and Mel gets on me. So, and then she puts the phonics on there for me, so it's helpful. Any memorable, funny, or horror shot day stories you have? And what's your favorite injection site?
Um, my I had a injection mishap right after the 4th of July. I had family in town, so I was up cooking. I cooked brisket and pulled pork. So those are like 14-hour cooks. So I was up most of the weekend cooking and then staying up for the fireworks. My injection day on that week was on a Sunday, so I woke up Sunday morning still drugged, half sleep. I got the alcohol wiped my spot, and grabbed the pen, turned the lock off, put it up against my stomach, and hit click. And I was waiting for the second click, and it never clicked. So I looked down, and I had the gray stopper on the bottom of the pen still, and I just wasted the whole pen. I pulled it away from my stomach and pulled the stopper out, and it sprayed all over the refrigerator. I just wanted to grab the refrigerator and lick all of it up. I had to grab another pen and do it all over.
Now, some people, when that has happened, they've called Eli Lilly and gotten another pen or gotten another box. Did you do that? You
No,
just
I
kind of.
mean it was my fault, and I had I have a stash anyway, so it wasn't really a hurting me thing. But I was like 18 months into the journey at the time, and I'm making a rookie mistake.
Well, knock on wood, I haven't had anything
Yeah.
happen yet, but Geez, Louise, I'm like, I can't imagine. I would be so outdone if I lost a whole pen. Like that just seems like like no, 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 we can't do that. Let's see. Joe says many people worry about their empty fat cells filling up again or filling with water, but how do you pronounce this, Mel and Joe? Autophagy, autophagy helps you recycle the fat cells, though they aren't there to fill up again. Okay, very good, very good. I love that. Okay, Mel gave us a super chat. Mel, what are you saying, Mel to the B? Gosh, this chat goes down so long. Charles, as someone who's in maintenance, what are you focused on looking forward to now related to your health journey? Body comp, fitness goals, anything to keep the journey exciting? Oh, that's a great question.
That's a good question. Yeah. Trying to
Thank you, man.
maintain where I'm at. And I want to stay somewhere between 195 and 200. So as long as I can stay here, I'm happy. Other than that, just living life, trying to live every day to the fullest right now, enjoying my family and fitness goals, just trying to maintain the activity of going to the gym, staying in that routine, so I don't get out of it and get lazy and not want to go to the gym any longer. So I got to make sure I drag myself to the gym to make sure I'm maintaining my muscle. Other than that, just living. I'm just trying to enjoy life.
Okay, all right. Now, somebody asked me this, and I looked it up. Jen F. Oh, she's asking us, but I'm the one who talked about it. So, Angela Simmons is taking a supplement, and I said a pill, but it's a pill, it's a supplement. It's called GLP-1 Boost, and she said it's helped her with her weight loss goals. She said she's been working with the brand IVRX. Is that what you were talking about earlier, or is this
No,
different?
no.
Okay, IVRX for weight loss and maintaining her results. So yeah, it is a supplement. Um, it says this natural supplement is backed with ingredients designed to support blood sugar regulation and your metabolism. So I wonder why they're allowed to call it a GLP-1. I'm gonna have to a boost. I'm gonna have to look into that.
That's garbage. Don't throw your money away.
No,
I
not to
believe,
buy it. I mean, look
yeah,
into it to like why. I'm curious to know
yeah.
like how are they allowed to even
Yeah,
call it that?
I'm talking to the audience in general.
Oh, okay.
I believe one of the Kardashians is getting sued over that claim as well. Because
Mm,
even if it could um, boost the body's natural GLP-1, the half-life of a GLP-1, naturally produced GLP-1, is about 2 to 4 minutes at the longest. So even if you produce more of it, you're only going to get a 2 to 4 minute boost of it before the body
2 to
kills it
4
all.
minutes.
Yeah. Where these
Gee.
peptides are engineered to have a half-life of 5 days.
Mm, mm, mm.
They're specifically designed for the body not to be able to break it down.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, but she made it seem like, well, the interview I saw, she made it seem like she took a GLP-1, but she didn't say which one but then she was promoting this, like to keep it up what she's doing, she's using this supplement. So I'm just gonna say allegedly because I can't quote her. But
You know,
yeah, that's
I
all
wouldn't be surprised if she's using the actual GLP-1 and they're paying her. This company is paying her to
to
promote.
boost this. Yeah. This with the boost. Uh-huh. Geez, Louise. Let me see. I saw a super chat here. I'm trying to find it. Okay, okay. I'm going the wrong way. Uh, Taisha, I'm trying to put your super chat up here, but I don't see. I have to scroll down. I got mail. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Simply Taisha. She says, for future reference, in case that happens to anyone else, even if you make a mistake with the shot, Lily will replace it for you. They provide a voucher for 1 box. So that's good to know. Very good.
Yeah.
I figured
I
because
think they
people,
only do it once too, so you can only use it once, I believe.
we could only use it once. Yeah. And I guess you probably were thinking, well, since this one was my fault, I'm gonna wait till it's their fault. with that pen, because I guess it is a way you can I guess mishandle it, or the thing doesn't. I've heard people say the little thing didn't move or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. I haven't had the mishap yet, but geez Louise, so that's good to know. All right, thank you, Taisha and Mel. Did I give? So let's see if we have a few more questions, and then we will go. We will go. Let me see. I also wanted to ask you. Let's see. Oh, I read this in the UK. It's they're allowing GLP-1s to be given to children as young as 10 years old. Joe, did you know this? As young as 10 years old, so they could get medications like Wegovy for severe obesity. And I guess there are standards, but people are having a debate that is this too young for kids? Now, what do you think? If you had a 10-year-old, would you let them take a GLP-1?
Yes. Yes. If they needed it. Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
I
you said,
think
what do you guys think in the chat? Would you let a 10-year-old take the GLP-1?
I think the age is 12 here in the States, right? For Wegovy.
I
So it's
thought
not
so,
not
12 or 13.
yeah. So it's not too far off.
And not too far. 10 seems so young. I think because I teach 8, 9-year-olds. Um, I can't imagine them taking the GLP-1, but 10 is probably you're in fourth or fifth grade. So yeah, and I guess for a parent, that's a personal choice. When you see the struggles the kids go through with being overweight, I guess you do want to do whatever you can to help. So and I know some people are having their kids take the GLP-1 and not necessarily saying anything, and the kids have been just fine. I've known a couple of people who have done that.
Yeah.
So it's again, that's like a personal choice, but yeah. Don't you wish that you would have had these medications earlier, or do you? Because I often think like, geez, if this was around when I was like in my 30s.
Yeah. I've often said that if this was around prior to me getting my first bariatric surgery, my lap band, I wouldn't have done either of the surgeries because these medications are just that great.
Yeah. Yeah, so you would not have had the bariatric surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what the people who still tend to get the research has shown though that bariatric surgery is more successful long term than these GLP-1s. Why do you think that is? Is it just because we haven't researched the
I
long
don't
term usage of the GLP-1 for weight loss yet?
I don't know if I can't say that they're more successful. The people that I know, including myself, have tend to fail at those bariatric surgeries. They last for so long. Like people start to, because you're not addressing the hormonal imbalance, the food noise, and things of that nature, you're going to potentially overeat that restriction. You get a physical restriction, but it doesn't address the other things going on in your body hormonally. So like for me, when COVID hit in 2020, I overate that restriction like it was nothing. I ate all kind of junk. My food noise was on 10, and you can stretch that stomach back out to a size that it was prior to them doing the surgery in the first place. So, and I see lots of people that gain weight after the surgery.
Yeah. And I had a friend who lost weight, with the surgery, slimmed down and did a great job. And then she also had skin removal surgery. And do you know she got bigger than she initially started? She got up to 300 pounds. And I want to say she's like 4'9".
Right.
And not only did she do the surgery, she also had the skin,
Yeah.
the loose skin surgery, and still were to gain it back. So I don't know if she would have so far she's kind of against the GLP-1 meds, and I'm not sure why, but yeah, I thought that'd be a good option for her because obviously I think the food noise is what got her back. Not even if you call it food noise cravings, that whole thing. I think that is what it caused her to get even bigger than she was when she started.
Yeah.
So
I think
oh, go ahead.
um I lost my thought. Sorry. I was reading Darium's question and I lost my thought.
What is and Darian, I saw this gave me a chuckle. He said, I also have a GLP-1 pencil. You write down what you want the scale to be. You will want it to be in 36 years. Darian, you might be a candidate for Reddit We could be on the Reddit together. I often say I'm going to end up on Reddit. Let's
Oh, I
see.
know what I was going to say now. I was listening to a bariatric surgeon recently, and he made the comment that he thinks that the gold standard going forward will be bariatric surgery plus a GLP-1.
Yes, I think so too. Do you think that having the bariatric surgery gives you some sort of advantage with the GLP-1?
That's hard to say. I know for me specifically, um, me being as far out as I am from my surgery, my daily caloric intake is supposed to be about 1,800 calories, and I know the medication helps me to eat within that 1,800 calorie limit. So it does help in that regard. Without the medication, I would definitely be overeating it.
Okay. So you I've never heard of anybody that didn't gain. You never gained weight when you were on that weight loss journey. So I just picture
What-
you as like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I never gained weight. I think the least amount that I lost during a particular week was like 1.5 pounds.
The least amount?
Yeah.
That's a great week for me. So what clicked in your mind that you just were like you were on it? Because I remember watching your videos, and your videos were, it'd be like 5 minutes or so, and that you weren't long and you didn't drag it out because you were just doing all the things, and you were working. I remember you started working out, and you would drop like 2 to 3 pounds. I think sometimes you drop 4 or 5 pounds, here and there, but you were just constantly dropping. You never lost. I think that's why we consider you the GOAT, because you just never gain weight. I don't know if I heard that from, anybody else. And you had so much to lose too. And then so you never slowed down. So is that what kept you motivated? Like, what kept you motivated, and what clicked for you? Because you've had all the surgeries, and not all, but a lot. You've done a lot before the GLP-1. So what just clicked with you? Was it the not having the food noise? Was it not having the cravings? Was it, this is my last shot? Like, what was it?
It was a combination of a few things. It was I weighed in daily, so that provided me motivation to keep the
You
scale
weighed in
going down
daily.
daily. I'm a data guy, so I weighed in daily. I wanted to see where it was every single day, and that provided me motivation to see it going down. Especially like I think I told you my first week I lost like 9.3 pounds on my first week on 2.5. A lot of that was probably water weight, but when I start seeing that, it's like, you know what, this thing is really going to work. And as I started to see the scale going down, I didn't have the food noise, and the medication was addressing my inflammation in my joints, allowing me to move freely. I was like, I need to restart my gym membership. And from that point on, I was going to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. I'm eating 1,800 calories a day and burning, I don't know, probably 2 to 3,000 at least at a minimum. Lifting weights 3 days a week and
You were
walking.
burning 2 or 3,000 calories a day every
Yeah,
time you went to the gym.
yeah.
Doing what?
I would just get on the treadmill and walk for 45 minutes to an hour, set the incline at 3 and with a pace of 3.8 to 4 miles per hour. And then I would lift for about 30 to 45 minutes. That was my
Wow.
routine. And then when I was in the office at work, I would just walk. I would get up and take a 15-minute break twice a day and walk around my office hallways. So I was always moving.
Wow. 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 Jeez. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's a lot of movement. No wonder you were burning so many calories and dropping like that. Very good. So do you worry if you, because have you kept up that pace even in maintenance?
No, I actually had to slow it down to stop from losing weight. So I play with a lot of different things. I play with the number of days that I went to the gym. I'm down to 2 days a week now. I played around with the intensity, so I'll do like 30 minutes on the treadmill instead of an hour. I adjusted the number of sets that I would lift weights and the number of reps that I would do in each set. I had to do things like adjusting my dosing schedule. So going from 7 days, I went all the way out to 14 days, and that was just too much with the food noise. So I brought it back down to 10. And so doing a lot of trial and error, trying to find the right mix of things to maintain weight, because my body reacts to it so well that it wants to lose weight. So I think I'm at a point now where it's I got a routine going where it's helping me to maintain within that 5-pound range.
So are you what they would call, so I wonder, are you what they would call a super responder? At first I thought you were, but now that I hear that how much effort you were putting into your workouts and burning those extra calories, maybe you're not a super responder. Maybe you're a super lifestyle adjuster.
Well, I would say I'm a super responder, because I could sit around. There was a few weeks, like even my maintenance journey, I would purposely not go to the gym, and I would sit on, because I was trying to stop the weight loss. I would sit around the whole weekend and just watch TV, purposely not go to the gym, and I would lose 3 pounds over the weekend.
You're kidding.
No, it was that. So that's why the maintenance has been the hardest part of the journey for me, because the active weight loss was, in my mind, easy, but the maintenance part, trying to figure out the right balance, has been the hardest part for me. And that's the first time that I actually gained weight, is when I called myself going into maintenance, and I dropped from 10 milligrams to 5 milligrams, and I think I gained a pound within a 4-week period. And then at that point, I went back up to 7.5 to settle the food noise.
Okay. Wow. So you are a super responder, but you really were doing. So did you ever have like some cheat days where you were, and I don't think you did. I remember you saying you ate this or that from time to time, but how often did you incorporate like something that you just had not a craving necessarily, but like something that would be kind of off your regular diet, your regular eating plan?
During the active weight loss, I didn't have any cheat days. I think
Zero.
when I hit goal, I went and bought a donut, and that was my celebration.
Okay, that must be what I remember you having the tone.
Yeah, like I
So
didn't
you
do
had zero cheat days,
no,
zero.
I didn't do any alcohol. I probably have. There's probably been about 3 or 4 days where I've had any alcohol, and those was after I had already hit goal. Had but now I eat regular, so I have regular meals now. I just don't eat as much.
Okay, so I'm fascinated by two things you said. First, you weighed in every single day. Jeez Louise. And I'm struggling to weigh in that one time a week. I don't want to see it. And then, oh my goodness, you had zero cheat days. Zero. Zero. Except till you hit go and you had a donut. And was the donut satisfying when you finally ate it? Was it
Oh,
just, or did you think,
that donut was so good. It was a pink velvet donut with some cream cheese frosting. Oh my God, it was so good.
so I'm glad to hear that, because a lot of times people say, "Oh, when I finally ate it, it didn't taste as good. I didn't taste like I remembered it," or you feel like, "Oh man, why did I eat this? It's not doing what it's supposed to do." But you enjoyed it. Well,
Yeah.
that is okay. Jeez Louise. Oh, you have some discipline. Jeez Louise. And with the support, not having the food noise and all that. But when I say the discipline comes in, you're also going to the gym and working out. Like you put the work in addition to, the GLP-1, like the workout schedule you were on, like walking for that long, and then even getting to your office and walking like that.
Yeah.
Gosh, I admire people that could do that, because that's just not me. Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
All right, let's just
the
go ahead.
medication helped a lot. Just changing my frame of mind and stopping that noise, because that was what was really stopping me. That and the inability to move because of the inflammation in my body due to what I did to it playing football.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And do you feel like your body is totally healed now from all that you went through before with it, do you feel healed?
No, I still have aches and pains. They're not on the level that they were. At some point, I'm probably going to have my left hip replaced and my shoulders and knees looked at. But my body feels a lot better. It doesn't. I don't feel like Rice Krispies getting out the bed in the morning. Snap, crackle, and pop.
And you're probably gonna have that being an athlete because your body took a, especially your football, right?
Yeah.
So you take some hits, and no matter what position you play, you could take some hits. So
Yeah.
I can see that. Do you ever watch the show King's Court? It's like a dating show.
I've watched. I have to catch up on it, but I have been watching it. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a guy on there, Thaddeus. Do you follow wrestling?
Yeah.
And I just see him on there. This is so off topic, but this is a good topic. But I just see him on there, and kind of what you said reminds me, I guess we all are at some point, can be very picky, but I just have a feeling like whatever woman he ends up with, eventually she's going to be rolling him around. Unless he gets on a GLP-1, his knees, I mean, you could just see how he walks. He's a wrestler, so he's slamming down on that,
Yeah.
that ring I know that it's padded in a certain way, but it's still that impact.
Yeah.
And I just feel like whoever he is with, she's going to be taking care of him in the long term, because he can barely walk now. You see him walking around. So that's just interesting. So I'm just glad that you did this for yourself with this Jill. You trusted yourself. You went with your instinct to take it, because I think that's, you would definitely probably have more aches and pains had you not. Because I mean, it definitely helps with that inflammation.
Yeah.
Let's see, what is she saying? Okay, so we're gonna have a couple more questions and then we're gonna be out of here. Let's see. Somebody must have said so. I don't know what people are. Oh, here's a question. Are you enjoying your villa in Wonderland? Are you moving there permanently?
Oh man, I done pulled up stakes and I'm here permanently now. I'm waiting for my guy Paul on Wheels to get here and join me. I told him I'm saving a spot for him.
Oh, Paul, I know. Paulie, call him Paulie Paul. He's gonna get there. I love that. Okay, any more questions? If you see something, let me know. I'm looking for some questions. Jeez Louise. Let me see. Margie, let me see. Do you see anything? Oh, Jen says, what's a cheat day technically? And what would you consider a cheat day?
To me, it'd be eating something that's not necessarily in your plan. Something that will probably be considered unhealthy. Drinking alcohol, eating the fatty foods, processed foods, sweets, and things of that nature. But I guess that'll differ for everyone.
Yes, Jen, what would you consider a cheat day? I wondered that from you. I would have answered the exact same way that he did. Hey, Beverly, how are you? Glad she was in the bushes and now she's out. Charles, I like your compliance when on your active weight loss journey. I know it's not realistic for everyone, but not sure about the idea of cheat days. Just the term itself is enough to drive her crazy. Okay. Yeah, and I say a cheat day because I say a cheat day. I think I say that because I think a cheat day helps to balance your calories out, but you can see with Charles, you don't need that. Some people don't need that. But I think sometimes when you eat really low some earlier in the week and then you eat, my calories, because I track the calories, are balanced out on a Sunday. That's when I allow myself to have like more mashed potatoes than I normally would, or even to have the mashed potatoes, or I'll allow myself to have to eat out a meal, but I still try to watch the calories that I'm eating within that meal. So it's not way over the top, right? So that's what I would consider a cheat meal. Having like an ice cream cone with my daughter, I don't consider that a cheat meal, but I consider that an indulgence, like So if I do that, so if I know we're going to have ice cream on a Sunday, usually it's on a Sunday when I've done it, then I won't have like a dinner that is what I would consider something I wouldn't eat. That wouldn't be on my health plan either, my eating plan. So I just think it's like balancing things out basically and balancing those calories out.
Shay says a reward day. Maybe that's a better term for it.
Reward day. Yes,
There
yes,
there's
yes,
some people that subscribe to, and I think this is probably the way to go, is building in the reward day during your week.
yes,
So you're not depriving yourself all the time.
yes. I love that.
But with me on the GLP-1, I didn't feel like I was depriving myself because I just didn't want the stuff. It wasn't like I was purposely not eating it. It's just I just wasn't thinking about eating it.
Yes, I love that. And you know, when I first started, I never was thinking about that too. Now that I've been on the journey for so long, I wonder if the type 2 diabetes of it all has anything to do with it. But now that I've been on the journey so long, I feel like after a while, my body gets used to the medication, and then I start to get those cravings back. And I haven't really since I've been on the 12, but I don't feel like, but I do think about it a little bit. Like before, I never thought about it. Now I cannot eat it, I can resist it. Whereas before, like if my daughter had treats and stuff, like she didn't eat it, I would eat it.
Yeah,
Now it'll sit there and I don't even know it's there. But I've been noticing myself like taking a little nibble of this or a little taste of that, which I never did that before. So I
yeah,
think as my body is getting used to whatever the medication dose I'm on, I'm noticing that. So that's
yeah,
why I say like, geez, oh man, I'm at 12.5, and not that I'm having food noise, like I'll be on 12.5 for a while, but I just see myself needing something beyond because I'm trying to lose like 70 more pounds.
yeah,
But my first goal is to lose 25 by the end of this month. And so, not the end of this month, the end of the year. What were you thinking when I said the end of this month? Like, girl, that's unrealistic. But yeah, I can see myself needing something more because I just think I will. Now, maybe I won't, but I feel like I maybe will. But I like the flex day, the reward day. That all sounds better than the cheat day.
yeah,
Jen says, I didn't cut anything out. I just ate in moderation or cut it in half. So that's why she was at. So she's one of those people that has lost more than 100. I think you've lost more than 100 pounds or more. And she's just, she's never like really changed what she was doing. She just ate less and she did walk. I remember she used to go walking with her dog a lot. So, yeah, that's interesting, right? Because she didn't do, the things that we normally say you should do with these GLP-1s. Sandy, you too. Sandy says she did the same thing also. I think a lot of people are doing that. I think people that are content creators are doing things, where we're changing our eating and all of that. And do you feel pressure as a content creator? Did you feel pressure to drop because you were telling your story? Do you feel pressure to do things like the lifestyle way that they recommended it? Did you ever feel pressure for that?
no, not me personally.
Okay. All right. Very good. I kind of think I do a little bit. But I'm just gonna do what I do though, because that's the only way I can make it. I can't make it doing like what somebody else is doing, or I can only make it doing what I do. I asked my doctor how much protein I should get in. Finally, I've confirmed with her, and she just told me 80 grams of protein, and that's it. Like she didn't say 100. She didn't say 0.6 times your weight and none of that. She just
Yeah.
said as long as you at least get 80 grams. What was the recommendation you were given, or did you just know from your athletic days?
I There was a calculation that I used to figure it out, which put me at 150.
Okay.
I forget what the calculation was now. It's been a while. So I target 150 grams of protein a day.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's different rules of thought of how you should measure this. Some people say it should be based off of your ideal weight. Some people think it should be based off your goal weight, and some people think it should be based off of your current weight, and some people think it should be based off of your muscle mass.
Yes. So which one do you follow?
I use my entire weight when I did my calculation, and that worked out for me. So I mean, everyone's probably going to be different, but
Okay. All right. So she says there's been obesity for centuries, but this is the generation with the highest levels, especially in our children. There were no type 2 diabetes in children at one point. Well, of course, we know it's the food supply. It's all those things that you're getting in your food. She says, Shay says, I agree, Diva, balance it out. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Journey says, I didn't cut anything out, but I don't really necessarily eat bad foods. And if I did, it'd only be 1 or 2 bites and I'm done. Yeah, that's what I'm doing sometimes with my daughter and her food, but I think it's getting me in trouble. Brenda said, I don't consider this a cheat day. I think it's more moderation. I take my shots on Saturday, and when my husband is well, we have a date night on Friday and go out to dinner, and I have whatever I want. I love that. Okay, very good, very good. So you and your wife never, or your family never went out to dinner and you strayed off the program ever. You just stuck to, eating. And what would you consider like, bad foods, the processed food? So you stuck to like your eating plan. You didn't even go out to dinner and veer off.
No, we would go out and I would order something that was like keto friendly, something protein focused.
Okay.
Um, like for example, I think I told you this when I did the interview with you. Um, a lot of West Coast folks know about In and Out. So In and Out has a secret menu, and you can go there and order what's called a Flying Dutchman. And basically, all it is the patties, onions, and the cheese. So you get the burger experience without the bun and the mayonnaise, mustard, and all that other stuff. So I would just have it keto style. So if
That
I
was
went
just, yeah.
went to another restaurant, I would find something that was keto friendly. If they didn't have that, then I would order something and just eat the protein.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Mel said, uh, she said, I cut stuff out, Jen. You cut stuff out. I did too. I think I did too. I thought that was the right thing to do, to cut the stuff out, and just focus on, the good foods that you want to put in. And I don't want to say good foods and bad foods because I don't want to teach my daughter that it's good foods and bad foods. But I guess if we say good for you and not the best for you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like foods that have, and I try to tell her that, like, she'll ask for a snack and I'll say, but you can have grapes. And she's like, why can't I have grapes? And I said, well, because it's a fruit and it has something nutritious for you. Like she was asking me, should I take vitamins? And I explained, because we should be eating more fruits and vegetables, but because we're not, we got to take that vitamin supplement. So I hope I'm teaching her the right thing. Do you use those terms with your kids, grandkids, good foods, bad foods? Is that bad? I don't know.
Well, probably did. My kids are 28 and want to be 31 next month. So probably when they were growing up, we probably use those terms. But I recently subscribed to the belief that you don't assign like you said, a good and a bad value to food. It's everything in moderation. For
Yes.
example, if you drink too much water, water is good for you, but if you drink too much water, you can damage your kidney. So
Yeah.
everything in moderation.
Yeah. Do you remember that competition? Somebody had a competition, and I want to say it was a mom that passed on. She had drank so much water. It was like drinking a bunch of water that they had as a challenge. And she passed after drinking so much water, and people couldn't
Wow.
believe it.
I
Um,
didn't hear that. That's sad.
yeah, this was like some years and years ago. So Jen says, let's see. Let's see. No, that's a testament that every journey is different. All right, so I think that's it. I think we're getting to the end. I think we got through. We didn't go through every comment. You guys are talking amongst yourself. I can see in here. Jen says, I eat dinner at 11 and 5 a.m., breakfast at 12. Okay, very good. So she eats dinner at 11 because your shift is different too, right? You work a night shift, I think. You can say that food nourishes and satisfies you. Very good. Jen, whatever you're doing, it worked well. Yes, because she's lost 100+ pounds. I love that. Davina says there are some things we should just not consume. I'm sorry, but donut flavored Oreos is not food and it's a lab experiment. Okay, I agree.
Oh,
Some foods just aren't what we should be eating. Thanks for a great live. Cheers to a great time with you all. She says good night. This is what I wanted to ask. My last question of the night, and I see Grace. I wrote it down on my sheet, and I see that Grace asked it too. And this is the last question of the night for Mr. Round Mound of Zepbound. And then maybe you can tell us what to look forward to on your channel. But any loose skin procedures that you think you're going to have on the horizon?
Not for me, no. I don't really have loose skin. I was fortunate enough to have a lot of underlying muscle where my skin wasn't saggy with the weight loss. I do have loose skin around my stomach, but it sits in such a way that you really can't tell unless you're staring intently at my stomach. It sits just right where, if I could tuck my shirt in, you wouldn't really notice. So, but I wouldn't be against it if I had to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think if I got down and had a lot of skin where it was just, I've seen some on Instagram and not on YouTube really, but Instagram. If I had that kind of skin that just, you saw the rows and it was a lot, I think I would have to do that. But other than that, I don't think so. I just think I roll with the punches and keep it moving. It would have to be surgery. Elective surgery for me is never an option. It would have to be like a necessity, right?
Yeah.
People do get to the point with the skin where it's a necessity. Now
Yeah.
that's what I say now. A girl has a right to change her mind.
Yeah.
But as of right,
Prerogative.
yeah, I do not see that. So some people are headed out of here. Tell us what anything you want to share about your channel, and then we're gonna say good night. Anything you want to tell us? We know we want you to subscribe to Round Mound of Zepbound if you're not already. And what do we have to look forward to on your channel?
Well, I guess we'll let the cat out the bag. I'm going to start doing my own interviews, men focused interviews.
Oh, okay.
Gonna do a series called Healthy Mentality, and
Oh,
I got
healthy mentality.
and emphasis there on the men. So I
I
got
love that.
my first guest lined up tomorrow. We're gonna record tomorrow is my guy Paul, CPT Paul.
Paul. Where is Paul? Is Paul up in here? I would love to see that. Is Paul in here? I don't know if Paul's in here, but I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea because we don't see a lot of men. So when we have the men coming around, we love it. But we're going to be talking about it on Friday. Some male topics. So I think that's great that you are doing that. So we look forward to that. And you have to just keep us posted on your series, and of course, let the women come over there and crash.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I'll probably do some lives here and there. I did a test the other day, and some people popped in. I just wanted to see if it worked or not. So be on the
Yeah.
lookout for
Okay.
that as well.
Well, we have our notification bell on, so we will be checking you out for sure. And thank you for coming back on. People just wanted to really talk to you and pick your brain because you've done such a great job. And we know every journey is different, but you can always take some nuggets and apply that to what you're doing and how you're doing it. So I love that you talked about that because we've kind of had, I don't know if it's been a debate or what's going on, but we've talked about strength training versus cardio, and ultimately both of them are ideal, right? But when I found out it's been here recently that the way you burn that, because I've been focused on like, okay, when I go to this DEXA scan and whatever I hear, I'm going to have to take that information and apply it. And when I heard that you need to be doing that cardio and walking to burn that visceral fat, I said, well, there goes that. Because I haven't been doing a lot of cardio. I've been focused on, the strength training of it all. So so that is helpful to me. So that's good. I think whatever information you got, you take what applies to you,
Yeah,
you take what you can do, and that's what you work with. And the goal is, self advocacy, advocating for yourself, and the goal is improvement, right? Improvement is improvement over time. And I think consistency in whatever you're doing, even if you're not perfect on your journey, is where it's at, right?
yeah,
Consistency over time is what we're aiming for. So I know that's my thing. Slow and steady, trying to get to that 100 pounds down. So when I get to 100 pounds down, I'm going to have a celebration. So you will be invited. I want you to
absolutely.
come and hang out with us, and I'm going to celebrate that 100 pounds, and then it's 50 more. I have to go after that. So I'm going to tackle it. It's hard when you're a type 2 diabetic. I'm like, geez, oh man, you have extra blood in
Yeah.
your blood, obviously, but it is a thing because it's like you would think I would never think about eating a sugary thing or a carby thing, but I still have like those thoughts here and there. And I wonder if it's tied to that. I wonder if they're going to do studies just focused on the type 2 diabetic, because that's a really,
Yeah,
you
that'd be
know,
great.
it really is struggles. And there are people who don't have them, but I'm not one of those people. Some people I know, like Mayor Mindy. You know who Mayor Mindy is? I call her Mayor
Yes.
Mindy. She's
Yes.
everywhere. See, you know her. She's
Yeah.
everywhere. And she just has, she's like an athlete. She's working on doing a triathlon. I think it comes up in September here. And she has really lost that weight, even on her, with being a type 2 diabetic. She cut those carbs. She's been working out. And so she has a different, a little story to tell with her GLP-1 journey. So we're all different. What are you going to do? But thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. And if everybody, I think people were leaving saying good night. We're going to be checking out Charles in the interview with the guys, and maybe we'll have to do a team up with the guys and girls. Like we got to bring the guys and girls together.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So thank you for stopping in, everybody. I appreciate
Thanks,
you all
everyone.
for coming. Thank you, Charles, for stopping in as well. And we're going to be on there. We're going to put on those notifications so we can come on there and hang out in one of your lives and be in your chat and doing all that.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it. All right.
Thanks for
Have a
having
good
me
night,
again.
everybody. Bye.